I think I've finally fixed the last circuit, I whispered, wiping sweat from my forehead. Rachel leaned closer, her bright eyes catching the glow of my small desk lamp. You've been saying that for weeks, Ethan. Are you telling me it's finally ready this time? It's ready, I said, holding up the prototype. This little piece will change everything. Her lips curved into a smile. You always say that about your inventions. But this one, it feels different. It is different, I said, my chest tightening with pride. I've worked on it for years. No shortcuts, no compromises. Rachel rested her chin on her hand. Do you ever wonder if anyone will actually believe in it the way you do? I looked at her, suddenly uneasy. Do you? Of course I do. She reached for my hand, squeezing it lightly. I wouldn't stay up with you until 2 a.m. if I didn't believe. I'm here, aren't I? That reassurance felt like sunlight in the dark. I know, I don't want to be some guy chasing a dream nobody else sees. Rachel tilted her head. Then maybe it's time you showed more people. My dad has friends who live for ideas like this. Big people, Ethan. Investors. I hesitated. Your dad doesn't even like me. He respects success, she said firmly. If he sees what you've built, maybe he'll change his mind. And if he doesn't, who cares? We'll prove him wrong. Her confidence was magnetic. I couldn't help but smile. You really think he'd listen? Not just him, others too. You've been hiding this invention like it's a secret treasure. It's time to let the world know. I laughed nervously. You sound more ambitious than me. Someone has to push you, she teased. Just then, Daniel knocked on the garage door and walked in. His hair was messy, his hands stuffed in his jacket pockets. You're still working? I thought you'd finally take a night off. Rachel smiled at him. Your friend doesn't stop, Daniel. He's obsessed. Daniel shrugged. Obsession makes great inventors. It also makes them reckless, I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Only that you trust too easily, he said. His eyes flicked to Rachel for a moment. I bristled. Rachel's been here with me every step of the way. Daniel lifted his hands. Relax. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying not everyone deserves access to what you're building. Rachel's smile thinned. You make it sound like I'm stealing from him. I didn't say that. Daniel's voice was calm, but his gaze stayed sharp. Come on, I cut in, forcing a laugh. We've all been awake too long. Tired minds imagine things. Daniel shook his head. Maybe. Just be careful who you trust, Ethan. Rachel stood, slipping her arm around my shoulder. He doesn't need warnings. He needs people who believe in him. That's what I'm doing. Her warmth against me silenced the doubts Daniel's words stirred. I wanted to believe in her more than I feared betrayal. You two don't have to fight over me, I said softly. I can handle myself. Daniel's sigh was heavy. I hope so. Rachel's voice brightened again. See? He's stronger than you think. And soon, everyone else will know it too. I looked at them both. The girl I loved and the friend I trusted. Then I guess it's time I stop hiding. I'll show your father. I'll show everyone. Rachel's smile was radiant, like victory already belonged to us. That's the spirit. We'll take the world together, Ethan. Daniel muttered under his breath. Or the world will take you. I pretended not to hear him, because in that moment, blinded by Rachel's faith, I believed nothing could break us. Are you sure about this? I asked as Rachel adjusted my tie. My throat felt tight, my palms already damp. You'll be fine, she said, brushing her hand across my chest. They're here to see what you've built. Just speak from your heart. My heart's racing like it wants to run away. That's nerves. Nerves mean you care. Trust me, Ethan. You're ready. I forced a smile. And your father? He'll actually listen? Rachel's lips curved. He'll listen if you impress him. And you will. Her confidence steadied me. I carried the prototype into the grand hall, chandeliers glittering overhead. Suits and dresses surrounded me, murmurs buzzing like static. Richard Adams stood near the center, tall, stern, his glass of wine untouched. When his eyes landed on me, I almost faltered. Rachel nudged me forward. "Dad, this is the man I've been telling you about." His gaze swept over me. "So this is the inventor?" "Yes, sir," I said quickly. "My name is Ethan Carter." He lifted a hand. "Save the introductions for the demonstration," Rachel whispered. "Go on." I swallowed hard, set the device on the table, and connected the small battery pack. The investors leaned closer, curiosity flickering in their eyes. "This prototype," I began, my voice cracking before I steadied it, "is designed to increase efficiency by 30% while cutting costs nearly in half. It's compact, reliable, and scalable. Imagine factories running cleaner, faster, cheaper, all without sacrificing safety." Someone asked, "Has it been tested?" "Yes," I said firmly. "Repeatedly." The results were consistent. Richard's brow arched. "And you built this alone?" "With Rachel's support," I answered, glancing at her. She gave me a smile that fueled my courage. "But the design, the engineering, it's mine." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Another man leaned forward. "If it works as you say, this could change industries overnight." "It will," I said. My voice grew steadier, stronger. "This isn't just a product. It's the beginning of something larger." Richard studied me in silence, then reached out and touched the prototype as though weighing its worth. His lips pressed into a thin line. "Interesting." "Interesting?" Rachel repeated. "Dad, you know it's more than that." He looked at her, then back at me. "Perhaps. We'll see if the numbers prove true. Investors don't fund promises, son. They fund results." "Then let me prove it," I said quickly. "Give me a chance, and I'll show you results that speak for themselves." The group shifted, conversations breaking out, some skeptical, some intrigued. Richard nodded once, dismissing me with the same motion. Rachel grabbed my hand and pulled me aside. "You were amazing." "I don't know," I muttered, glancing back at her father. He didn't look impressed. "He never does," she whispered. "That was his version of interest. Trust me, Ethan, you caught his attention." "Or his disdain," I said. She squeezed my hand tighter. "Stop doubting yourself. We're in this together, remember? Your dream is my dream." Her words were sweet, but unease twisted in my stomach. "Sometimes I wonder if your family sees me as anything more than a project." Rachel frowned. "Why would you say that?" Before I could answer, Daniel appeared, hands shoved in his pockets. "That was brave," he said quietly. I tried to smile. "Brave or stupid?" "Both," he replied. His eyes flicked toward Rachel's father. "You think they'll really give you a chance?" Rachel cut in before I could speak. "Of course they will. My dad respects innovation." Daniel's tone stayed even. "He respects power. Ethan, be careful. People in this room don't see you as an equal. They see opportunity." I sighed. "Daniel, I'm serious," he pressed. "Don't lose yourself trying to win their approval." Rachel's voice sharpened. "Why do you always sound so negative?" "Because I've seen people like your father before," Daniel said. "And they don't play fair." I stepped between them. "Stop, please. Tonight was important." "I can't fight both of you," Daniel exhaled, eyes softening. "I just don't want to see you hurt." Rachel touched my arm gently. "And I don't want you doubting yourself. Ethan, you belong here." I looked at both of them, Rachel glowing with confidence, Daniel shadowed with caution. My chest ached with conflict. "I'll figure it out," I said finally. Rachel leaned in and whispered, "We'll figure it out. Together." Her promise warmed me, but Daniel's warning echoed louder in my mind than I wanted to admit. I stared at the empty drawer, my heart pounding against my ribs. The folder, the one with my blueprints, was gone. My throat tightened. "Rachel?" I called, my voice cracking. She appeared in the doorway, calm, composed. What's wrong? The plans. They're gone. She didn't flinch. I know, you know? My chest burned. Where are they? Her lips curved into a faint smile. With people who can actually do something with them. The room tilted. What do you mean? I sold them, Ethan. Her voice was smooth, almost soothing. To a company that has resources you'll never have. My knees weakened. You sold my invention? Without even asking me? You should be thanking me, she said coldly. Do you really think you could have taken this to the world on your own? Anger surged, shaking my words. It was mine. My blood, my sweat, my nights without sleep. How could you? Rachel's eyes hardened. Because you were too small for this dream. You think tinkering in a garage makes you ready to change industries? Grow up. The betrayal sliced deeper than any blade. I trusted you. Every secret, every sketch, I gave it all to you. And I gave you ambition, she snapped. Without me, you'd still be hiding in that dusty room praying for miracles. My voice broke. I loved you, Rachel. She looked away, her tone dismissive. Love doesn't build empires. Power does. I staggered back, clutching the table for balance. So what am I to you, a fool? A stepping stone? She met my eyes again, cold fire burning in hers. You were useful. That's all? The world crashed in silence. My breath came in shallow gasps. Get out, I whispered. Rachel tilted her head. Someday you'll realize I did you a favor. Get out. My shout shook the walls. She finally turned, her heels clicking against the floor as she walked away without looking back. The door slammed, and I collapsed to the ground. My hands shook violently as I pressed them against my face. The betrayal roared in my ears until the sound of a knock cut through. Ethan? Daniel's voice I couldn't answer. The door opened and he stepped inside. His eyes widened at the sight of me on the floor. What happened? I choked on the words. She sold it. Rachel sold everything. Daniel froze, then crouched beside me. Your invention? All of it. Every blueprint, every calculation, gone. His jaw clenched. I told you she wasn't. Don't say it. I shouted, tears blurring my vision. Don't you dare say you warned me. Daniel's voice softened. All right. I won't. But look at me, Ethan. This doesn't end you. My chest heaved. It does. That was my life, my dream. She ripped it away and handed it to strangers. He gripped my shoulders firmly. She can't steal you. The mind that made those plans, that's still here. I shook my head. I feel empty, hollow, like she carved out everything I was and left nothing behind. Daniel's eyes glistened with anger. She's poison, and she'll choke on her own greed, I swear it. I buried my face in my hands. Why her? Why did I believe in her so blindly? Because you loved her, he said simply. And love makes us see what we want to see, not what's there. The words stabbed, but they were true. Daniel's grip steadied me. You can survive this, Ethan. You're stronger than you think, I whispered, broken. I don't feel strong. I feel destroyed. He pulled me to my feet. Then lean on me until you can stand on your own. But don't give her the satisfaction of watching you crumble. Tears streaked my cheeks. I don't know if I can rebuild. Yes, you can. Because the invention wasn't the only thing you created. It was proof of who you are. And no one can erase that. I met his gaze, searching for something solid in the wreckage of my trust. Then what do I do now? Daniel's voice was steady, unyielding. You start over. And you make sure the next time the world knows the name Ethan Carter, not Rachel Adams. The weight of his words pressed into me, heavy yet anchoring. I nodded weakly, though my heart still bled, but inside, beneath the ruins, a fragile spark refused to die. I sat on the floor of my empty lab, unpaid bills scattered like fallen leaves. Daniel leaned against the doorframe. You haven't slept in days. Sleep doesn't pay rent, I muttered, rubbing my temples. And rent doesn't care that my life's been stolen. You can't keep doing this to yourself, I barked a hollow laugh. What else should I do? Rachel's on every channel smiling, taking credit for my invention. Meanwhile, I can't even keep the lights on. Daniel stepped closer. You're letting her win. She already won, I snapped. Look at me, Daniel. I'm broke, forgotten, finished. He crouched in front of me. You're not finished. You're grieving. I'm suffocating, I whispered. Daniel's voice lowered. Then let me pull you out before you drown. Meet someone. A friend of mine. She invests in people like you. I shook my head. I can't pitch myself again. Not after this. You won't be pitching to her. You'll be talking, just talking. The next day he dragged me to a cafe. I kept my hood up, avoiding the bright TV in the corner replaying Rachel's interviews. A woman with sharp eyes and calm composure sat at a corner table. Daniel nudged me. Ethan, this is Sophia Green, she extended her hand. So you're the man I've heard about? I hesitated before shaking it. Depends on what you've heard. That you built something extraordinary. That you trusted the wrong person. And that you're still standing. I flinched. Barely. Her gaze didn't soften. Barely standing is still standing. I glanced at Daniel. Did you tell her everything? Not everything, he said. Just enough so she'd want to meet you. Sophia leaned forward. Tell me in your own words. What drives you? I shook my head. Doesn't matter. It's gone. She has it now. Blueprints can be stolen, Sophia replied, but vision can't. Her words stung because they carried hope I didn't want. Vision doesn't pay for groceries, she smirked. Neither does self-pity, but I've invested in broken people before. The ones who rise after betrayal usually shine brighter than anyone else. Daniel nudged me. See why I wanted you to meet her? I rubbed my face. I don't even know where to begin again. Begin with what you still believe in, Sophia said. Do you still believe your invention could change things? I hesitated. Yes, but it's not mine anymore. Then build something new, better, stronger. My chest tightened. You make it sound simple. It isn't, she admitted. But pain can be fuel if you let it. I stared at her, searching for a hidden agenda. Why help me? Sophia smiled faintly. Because people like Rachel make me sick. And because people like you remind me why I started investing in the first place. Daniel leaned back, satisfied. Told you she wasn't like the others, I whispered. I don't know if I can trust again. Then don't trust me yet, Sophia said calmly. Just trust yourself enough to try. Her words cut through the fog around me. For the first time in weeks, I felt something other than despair, something fragile, trembling, but alive. I'll think about it, I murmured. Good, she said, standing. Think fast. The world doesn't wait for broken men to heal, but it respects the ones who rise anyway. After she left, I slumped back in my chair. What just happened? Daniel grinned. Hope. You just met hope. I shook my head, torn between bitterness and the faintest spark of possibility. My heart still bled for Rachel, but Sophia's respect felt like a hand reaching into the darkness, and for the first time I almost wanted to reach back. The hum of my new workspace echoed in my ears. Bare walls, scattered tools, blueprints pinned like battle plans. I hadn't slept much, but exhaustion felt irrelevant. Sophia walked in carrying coffee. Another all-nighter? I wiped grease from my hands. If I stop now, I'll drown again. I can't let that happen. You're burning yourself out, she warned. Better than rotting in regret. She set the cup down. You're not just chasing revenge, are you? I met her gaze. I'm building something better, stronger. Every time I fail, I get closer. Rage keeps me awake, but determination keeps me moving. Sophia studied me. Rage fades. Determination lasts. Maybe, I muttered, adjusting a circuit. But right now, rage is all I trust, she sighed. Then let me carry the rest. I'll handle the investors, the legal nonsense, the noise. You just build, I gave a dry laugh. You make it sound easy. It isn't. But that's why you need me. Her words stuck. She wasn't asking for gratitude. She was stating fact. Weeks blurred. Failure after failure piled up, but each collapse fueled me. Circuits fried, prototypes cracked, code broke apart, but I refused to stop. One night I hurled a shattered panel across the room. Damn it! Sophia rushed in. What happened? It failed again. The core collapsed. Then we try again, she said firmly. We? I scoffed. This is my fight. No, Ethan, this is our fight now. I froze at her tone. Why are you doing this? Really? She crossed her arms. Because I believe in you. And because somewhere under all that anger, you still believe in yourself. I swallowed hard, unable to respond. She stepped closer. You think your heart is frozen? Maybe it is. But your fire? That's still alive. I see it every time you refuse to quit. Her words cut deeper than I expected. Days later, the news blared from the small TV in the corner. Rachel's flawless smile filled the screen. Rachel Adams, hailed as the youngest visionary in tech history. I gritted my teeth. Visionary? She rushed production. Those failures nearly hurt people. Sophia muted the screen. The lawsuits will catch up. For now, the media wants a star. While I'm a ghost, I muttered. She leaned against the wall. Not for long. Ghosts become legends when they rise. I clenched my fists. I'll rise higher than ever. I'll bury their lies with proof they can't ignore. That's the fire, I mean, she said softly. I turned back to the workbench, my voice low. I'm not doing this for glory. I'm doing this because they thought they could erase me. Because Rachel looked me in the eye and told me I was too small for my own dream. Sophia's tone hardened. Then make them choke on the truth. I adjusted a wire, sparks lighting my fingers. Failure doesn't scare me anymore. Wasting this pain does, she smiled faintly. Then pain is your ally. For a moment, silence stretched. I caught her looking at me, her expression softer than words could admit. You care more than you should, I said quietly. Maybe, she replied, but I don't care for weakness. I care for strength that refuses to die, and that's what I see in you. I looked away, my chest tightening. I can't give you what you want. I didn't ask you to, she said. I just asked you to keep fighting. The weight of her honesty struck me harder than her support ever had. I whispered, then I'll fight. For me, for justice. For everything she stole. Sophia's eyes glimmered. Good. Because I'll fight with you. That night, as machines hummed and blue sparks danced across metal, I realized something. My invention wasn't born of love anymore. It was born of fire, rage sharpened into steel, pain reforged into power. Rachel could keep her spotlight. I would build a storm that outshined it, and this time, I wouldn't break. The trading floor roared with applause as the bell rang. My team shouted, hugging, clapping backs, lifting glasses. Cameras flashed. Daniel grinned, slapping my shoulder. You did it, Ethan. You're on every channel in the country. I managed a small smile. We did it. Without you and Sophia, I'd still be in that empty lab. Sophia leaned close, her voice calm but glowing with pride. It's your name they're chanting. Not Rachel's. Yours. The announcer's voice echoed across the screens. Carter Technologies, setting new records today. I swallowed hard. Years of rage, despair, fire, it all funneled into this moment. Daniel leaned back, laughing. Look at them. The same investors who wouldn't give you 5 minutes are begging for scraps now. I said nothing, watching the tickers climb. My silence felt louder than cheering. Don't tell me you're not enjoying this, Daniel teased. I am, I said slowly. But it's not joy, it's justice, Sophia studied me. Justice tastes bitter when it's all you live for. I exhaled. Better bitter than empty. Later, in the quiet of my office, Daniel burst in waving a tablet. You've got to see this. Rachel's company, stock plummeting. Partners pulling out. Media finally turning. I stared at the headline. Adams Corp faces crisis under Rachel Adams's leadership. Sophia walked in, eyes sharp. She overplayed her hand. Rushed products, lawsuits piling up, arrogance cutting her off from allies. This was inevitable, Daniel snorted. Inevitable, maybe. But damn satisfying. I sat back, the edges of my lips twitching. So the golden star finally cracks. More than cracks, Sophia said. She's collapsing. Investors are calling her reckless, unstable. The empire's rotting from the top. Daniel laughed again. I told you karma would hit her harder than you ever could. My fingers tapped the desk. Maybe, but karma works slow. I move faster. Sophia tilted her head. What are you thinking? I leaned forward. How much debt is she carrying? She opened her folder. Enough to sink her in a year. Adams Corp will need a bailout or a buyer. She's desperate, but pride won't let her show it. Yet. Daniel's eyes widened. Don't tell me. I smiled thinly. Why not? If her empire's for sale, who better to buy it than the man she betrayed? Sophia crossed her arms. You're serious? Deadly. Daniel nearly choked on laughter. This is insane. Brilliant, but insane. I closed my eyes briefly, remembering Rachel's cold smile years ago. You were too small for this dream. My jaw tightened. She thought I was too small. Now she's the one drowning. Sophia's tone was firm. Revenge is dangerous fuel. You've built something incredible without her shadow. Are you sure you want to drag yourself back into it? I met her gaze. This isn't about dragging back. This is about ending it. She took everything from me once. Now I take everything from her. Daniel leaned forward, grinning. Then we prepare. We wait until the board has no choice but to sell. Sophia hesitated. And when you own her company? What then? I let out a low breath. Then I walked through the doors she slammed in my face, and I closed them behind her. The weeks that followed were a storm. Carter Technologies surged higher, contracts pouring in, my calendar drowning in investor calls. But behind every victory, I kept one eye on Adams Corp. Daniel barged into my office one morning, laughing so hard he nearly dropped his phone. Rachel just got roasted live on TV, tried to spin a product recall as a success. Reporters shredded her. I didn't smile. How did she look? Shaken. Rattled. Like she finally realized the pedestal is cracking. Sophia sat across from me, her voice calm. The board is meeting next month. Whispers say they're looking for buyers, my pulse quickened. And my name? Already whispered in the halls, she said. They see you as the lifeline. Daniel leaned in, eyes shining. Imagine it. The girl who sold you out standing across the table, forced to watch you buy her world. I clenched my fists. No, not imagine. Make it real. Sophia's expression softened. Ethan, if you do this, it won't just be business. It'll be personal war. Are you ready for the cost? I looked at her, then Daniel, then at the glowing ticker on the screen. Years of nights clawed at me, Rachel's betrayal, my fall, my rise from fire. Yes, I said quietly. I've been ready since the night she sold my dream. Daniel grinned wide. Then let's burn the past to the ground. Sophia didn't smile, but her eyes told me she understood. The moment had come. Rachel's empire was crumbling, and I was the one holding the match. The mahogany table stretched wide, polished to perfection. Papers lay before me, thick with signatures that would change everything. My pen hovered. Daniel leaned in, grinning. Take a good look, Ethan. These pages are history. Your history, I whispered, almost to myself. Her father's empire. Now mine. Sophia's calm voice steadied me. This isn't just about her. This is about what you've built, what you've earned. The chairman cleared his throat. Mr. Carter, once you sign, Carter Technologies will officially absorb Adams Corp. The board is unanimous. I pressed the pen to paper, the scratch of ink louder than applause. Line after line, I signed. Each stroke felt like a nail sealing Rachel's coffin. Daniel clapped softly. That's it. You're CEO now. The kid she called too small just bought her world. Sophia's eyes never left me. How does it feel? I paused, the weight heavy on my chest. Strange. Victory isn't sweet. It's sharp. The board members stood, shaking my hand. One smiled. We've waited for new leadership. Adams led us to ruin. You may save us, their words echoed. Save us, not destroy her. Not punish her. Save. The meeting adjourned. Employees gathered in the lobby as the announcement spread. Cheers erupted, a chant of my name rising. Daniel leaned closer, shouting over the noise. Listen to that. They actually believe in you. I forced a smile, but inside I burned. They cheer for survival. Not me, Sophia touched my arm. Don't minimize it. You gave them hope. Hope. A word Rachel never gave me. We stepped into the executive suite. Her father's office, now mine, loomed ahead. The view stretched across the city, the same skyline I once looked at from the shadows. Daniel whistled. From garage to glass tower. Quite a climb. I ran my fingers over the desk, the leather cool. I remember begging for a seat at this table. Now I own it. Sophia stood by the window. Revenge isn't finished, is it? No, I admitted. Not until she knows. Not until she sees me here, Daniel smirked. You want her to walk in and choke on the irony. Yes, I said softly. I want her to feel what I felt. The weight of being powerless. Sophia's voice cut through. Careful. Power is a dangerous mirror. If you stare too long, you become the reflection. I turned to her. Do you think I've become her? She hesitated. Not yet. But you're close. The word stung. Daniel broke the silence. Board votes in. Press conference at 3. They'll announce you as the new CEO. Front page everywhere. I exhaled. So it's real. I'm the one they chase now. Sophia stepped closer, her tone softer. What will you tell them? I met her eyes. The truth. That Carter Technologies didn't rise from greed, but from betrayal and survival. That we'll rebuild, not exploit. She smiled faintly. Then maybe you'll prove you're not her shadow. My phone buzzed. A message flashed across the screen. Rachel, we need to talk. My heart kicked hard. Daniel saw my expression. Her? Yes, Sophia's eyes narrowed. What does she want? Too late to guess, I said. Soon she'll stand in front of me, and I'll decide what justice looks like. The cheering outside grew louder, reporters gathering like vultures. My name rolled across headlines. I sat at the desk, her father's throne now mine. The weight of revenge pressed heavy, but beneath it was a hollow space I couldn't fill. Daniel chuckled. So, boss, what's next? I stared at the skyline, whispering, the confrontation I've dreamed of. The auditorium buzzed, cameras flashing, reporters shouting my name. The stage lights blinded, but I stood tall, microphone in hand. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, my voice echoing, today marks a new era. Adams Corp is no more. Carter Technologies owns this future. Applause thundered. Daniel, standing near the edge, whispered with a grin, she's here. My chest tightened. Bring her in. The side doors opened. Rachel was led forward by two board members, her steps sharp but faltering. Her perfect composure cracked, her face pale under the lights. Her eyes found me, shock, confusion, fear. I steadied my breath. Rachel Adams, former CEO of this company, once praised as a visionary, today stripped of power. Gasps rippled through the room. Cameras zoomed closer. Rachel forced a smile. Ethan, what is this circus? I locked eyes with her. No circus. Just truth. Live for the world to see. She laughed faintly, the sound hollow. You think this little show humiliates me? No, I said evenly. You humiliated yourself. Years of arrogance, fraud, and betrayal did the work. I'm just closing the chapter. Her voice wavered. You can't erase me. I stepped closer, microphone steady. You erased yourself the moment you sold my dream. The moment you told me I was too small. The crowd murmured louder. Rachel's mask slipped, her voice cracking. That was business, Ethan. Nothing personal. Nothing personal? My chest burned. You stole my invention. You sold my future. You broke the trust of every partner who believed in you. That isn't business, it's betrayal. Her lips trembled. You don't understand. No, I cut her off. You don't understand. Because today the world will. Daniel's voice rang from the sidelines. Say it, Ethan. Say the words. I raised the microphone, the silence sharp as a blade. Rachel Adams, you are fired. Effective immediately. The room erupted. Cheers, applause, camera shutters clicking like gunfire. Rachel's eyes widened, tears threatening. She whispered, barely audible, You wouldn't dare. I leaned closer, my words cold. You once told me I was too small for my dream. Today you are too small for mine, the audience roared. Every screen in the hall replayed my words in bold captions. Rachel's composure shattered. Her hands shook. You can't do this to me. I built this image. You built it on lies, I said flatly. And lies collapse. Sophia stepped forward, her voice steady. Security will escort Ms. Adams out. Rachel spun toward her, panic flaring. You can't. You're just enough, I snapped. This is over. Two guards moved closer. Rachel's voice rose, desperate. Ethan, please, don't humiliate me like this. I froze for a fraction, her plea twisting my chest. But the storm inside reminded me. This was the end I fought for. No mercy, I whispered. More to myself than to her. She was led off stage. Her cries drowned by the applause of hundreds. Daniel slapped my back, beaming. Poetic justice! The world just witnessed her fall. I nodded faintly, my voice low. Yes, justice! But inside the storm churned. The crowd still cheered, chanting my name. Sophia's hand brushed my arm. You did it. Years of pain led here. I forced a smile for the cameras. The future is ours. Together we rebuild with truth, not betrayal. The audience erupted again. Journalists racing to broadcast the story. But as the flashes blinded me, as Rachel's broken figure vanished behind the curtains, a hollow ache grew deeper. I had fired her. I had won. So why did victory feel like ash in my mouth? The office was quiet, too quiet for a victory. Newspapers lay scattered on the table, each headline screaming Rachel's downfall. Disgraced heiress. Rachel Adams, empire lost. From queen to nothing. Daniel leaned back in his chair, laughing. You see this? The mighty Rachel crushed. Her father cut her off. Investors abandoned her. She's begging for scraps. I stared at the papers. And yet, it feels empty, he raised a brow. Empty? You toppled her. You got everything back. Did I? My voice was low. I don't feel triumph. Just silence. Sophia touched my arm gently. That's because revenge doesn't heal. It just burns until nothing's left, Daniel frowned. Don't tell me you pity her. I shook my head. No pity, just a strange ache. I thought her ruin would fix the hole she left. But the hole is still here. He leaned forward. You're overthinking. This is justice, I whispered. Or obsession? Sophia spoke softly. Ethan, you've lived in her shadow for years. Now the shadow's gone. Of course it feels strange. You have to step into your own light, Daniel groaned. Light, shadows, call it what you want. The woman's finished, celebrate. I exhaled slowly. But what's left to celebrate? Her life is in ruins, yet my chest feels heavy. Sophia looked at me steadily. Because you defined yourself by her. You measured your worth against her betrayal. Now that it's gone, you're free, but freedom feels like loss. Her words sank deep. So revenge is just a mirror of pain. Daniel rolled his eyes. Philosophy hour. Come on, Ethan, she deserved it. I know she did, I said firmly. But knowing doesn't heal me. She's out of my story now. Just a scar. Sophia's hand lingered on mine. Scars don't vanish, but they remind us we survived. That's enough. I closed my eyes briefly, the storm inside softening. She thought she was my ending, but she was only a chapter. Daniel sighed, pouring himself a drink. Fine, be poetic. Just don't forget, your empire stands because she fell. Yes, I admitted, glancing at the headlines. But my empire must stand for more than revenge. Otherwise, I'm no better than her. Silence filled the room again, heavy but calmer this time. Sophia broke it gently. What do you want now, Ethan? Not for her, for you. I stared out the window at the city lights. I want to build something clean. Not from spite, but from hope. Her smile was warm. Then you've already won more than she ever did, Daniel muttered. Hope doesn't pay dividends. I smirked faintly. Neither does bitterness. He laughed despite himself. Touché. I stood, gathering the papers, folding them shut. Rachel's name won't guide me anymore. She's history. I won't carry her into my future. Sophia rose too, her voice soft but firm. Good. Because you're more than what she took. Daniel lifted his glass. To scars, then. Proof we survived, I hesitated, then nodded. To scars. The toast felt final, like closing a door. For the first time in years, her voice didn't echo in my head. Only silence remained, strangely peaceful, strangely free. And I knew at last, Rachel Adams was no longer my story. She was just a scar, and scars don't own me. The air smelled of dust and rust as I unlocked the door to my old lab. The hinges groaned and the silence pressed in. I whispered to myself, this is where it all began. My footsteps echoed against the cracked floor. The broken desk, the scattered wires, the faint stain of long nights. It was all still here. I pulled out a chair and sat, staring at the empty space. You took everything from me once, I muttered, my voice low, but you also gave me fire. The door creaked open. Sophia's voice slipped inside softly. I thought I'd find you here. I looked back at her. Why? She smiled gently. Because this place is your scar, and scars always call us back before we let go. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on the table. I used to dream here, Sophia. I loved here. I lost everything here. For years, I thought revenge would erase the pain. And did it? She asked. No, I admitted. It only echoed the pain louder. She stepped closer, her heels quiet against the floor. Then why come back? To end it, I said firmly. To close the door without rage this time. She studied me carefully. And what do you see now? I looked around the ruined lab, a faint smile tugging at my lips. I see ashes, but ashes mean the fire already burned. What's left is freedom, she tilted her head. So you're ready to breathe again? For the first time in years, I answered. Her eyes softened. And where do I fit into that breath? I hesitated, feeling the weight in my chest ease. Beside me. If you'll stay. She sat across from me, folding her hands on the dusty table. I've been staying all along. You just had to stop looking backward. I laughed quietly, shaking my head. You were patient with me. Too patient. I wasn't waiting for revenge to end, she said softly. I was waiting for you to see yourself beyond it. I met her gaze. Then maybe I finally do. She leaned closer. Tell me, Ethan, what do you want now? I inhaled deeply. I want peace. To build something new, not to prove her wrong, but to prove myself right. Sophia's smile widened. That's the man I believed in. The man I invested in, not for profit, but for faith. Her words warmed me in a way triumph never did. I whispered, almost to myself, I survived her. Yes, she said firmly. And surviving is winning. I nodded slowly. For so long, Rachel was the ghost in every decision I made. But today she's gone. Finally gone. Sophia touched my hand across the table, then let her go completely. Let her be nothing but a closed book. I squeezed her hand gently. I already have. The silence that followed wasn't heavy anymore. It was light, almost peaceful. She broke it with a playful grin. So, no more speeches about scars and shadows? I chuckled. Maybe one last one. Scars don't chain us. They remind us we're still alive. Her laughter filled the room, chasing away the dust. I'll take that. Now come on, let's leave this grave behind. I stood, glancing around the lab one final time. Goodbye, I whispered to the walls, to the memories, to the boy I used to be. Then I walked out with Sophia by my side, the door closing behind us. Outside, the air was crisp, the world loud and alive. She asked softly, Do you feel free? I looked at her at the horizon ahead and smiled. Yes, because I'm not carrying her anymore. I'm carrying me, and with that I finally breathed, fully, freely, fiercely. I had won. Not because Rachel was destroyed, but because I survived her.